but all because there were three of them.
Yeah.
There were three of them. I'm trying to remember what the other two were called. And
Arnold Hemmer.
Arnold. Yeah, of course I know Arnold, but Arnold came later with them.
All right, yeah,
I don't think he came later away from them. There were three players that come over. One was a prop forward.
Yeah.
And what it Paul
Kesney.
Kesney.
Oh, you mean Tiny Saloma?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Tiny. Oh, Tiny, because he went back home early, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Paul stayed at my pub. He lived at my pub. Did Paul?
Yeah.
Came over as 11 stone centre and went back home as an 18 stone front rower.
Yeah. I think the best one I've got about him, I took Mark Geyer, Tiny, and Paul O'Kesney to a school in Sheffield to do school in the afternoon. Yeah. I have never felt as small in my life when I got one. I went, these three giants here. The kids, we went to the roughest school in Sheffield. I've never forgot it. And all these kids went, oh my God. And Mark Geyer, and I went, he's 19. And he went, hey.
Yeah.
What? And he went, oh, you're right, fellas. And brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, evening,
he
Mark.
was a lovely lad with Mark Geyer. No sight to him at all.
Oh, so when he went on the pitch and everybody else's faces went, and I think the one against Widnes was good because he did that when he went on Widnes. I remember looking at Kurt Sorensen and going, where's he come from? All I remember against Widnes is everybody complaining about the size of the changing rooms. I think a fire and everybody were complaining. Old changing rooms were legendary. Evening, Mr. Webster.
Evening, everybody. You all right? Evening, Dino. Good evening, Mr. McDermott. You well?
Good evening. I am. Thank you. You?
Yes, I'm good. I apologise for my tardiness. I'm just putting the laddo to bed, and his mum's working away, so we did a video call, and she read him a book, and then he wanted another book, and so on. So he's using my phone to do it. I use the phone for this. So he's in bed now, and hopefully he'll nod off pretty quickly. He's absolutely exhausted. He's been on his trampoline all night, so hopefully he'll sleep through for me.
First of all, we just want to say congratulations to Paul on his role as ambassador, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Ambassador to X League, this new version of rugby league that's sweeping the nation, as they say. Congratulations, Paul, on that role being given to you.
Thank you. It came out of the blue. I've been involved with X League. Previously, it was called Eurotag. It's a game that was devised by Des Foy, the ex-Wigan Great Britain Oldham player, and they were looking for something to take place to touch and pass, because everybody plays touch and pass, but touch and pass is a very, very poor replicant for playing rugby league, especially the physical side of it. And he came up with this, but he didn't think of any names, so he just called it Eurotag because Euros were on. I think at football, Euros were on.
Yeah.
But now it's been changed to X League because X League is like the missing factor of it. I liken X League to like the missing link between touch rugby and full contact rugby. And the idea being you touch the ball and not the man. Now that sounds easy enough to do, but if you've got a good ball handler, you can hold the ball away from you. Can't hand people off and do all types of things. And because you're allowed, the basic rules are you're allowed to tackle upstairs and you can use force, but because it's open to everybody, women and men can play in the same teams, and lads and girls up at 16 and above can play in. If you use common sense and playing it, you don't get an 18 stone fella brain into a 10 stone player. So you can tackle upstairs, grab, no leg tackling. And then you try and touch that ball, and without getting past it, it's great for going through moves.
Yeah. What's it like? Do they allow handoffs and things like that?
Yes, you can hand off. Yep. You can do everything except leg tackling. The restrictions are if the tall fellas, they can't hold the ball above. If they put the ball above the head, they've got to pass it. Otherwise, you just run through forever, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. If you were holding the ball in your right arm and I were coming from your left hand side, you could hand me off. You could shoulder charge me. As long as I've got to touch that ball. So I've got to, if you're too good at doing that, I'm gonna have to grab hold of you and let somebody else touch the ball and pull you back in again.
Yeah.
But the idea is being so you pass the ball in contact and tackle without giving a penalty with holding the ball. It's easy to explain when you watch a game rather than obviously trying to speak verbally about it.
Yeah. As the professional game, has there anybody in the professional game embraced it and they've been talking to all the pro clubs and things like that?
A lot of older, not so much ex-international players other than Des Foy, but there's plenty of when I've been played these competitions that they've played. There've been plenty of ex-professional players that's involved there, and quite a few amateur clubs, especially in the northwest where Des is based. Oldham, it's sprung up around all the Oldham area. Lots of ex-professionals like it, yeah.
All right. Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it, Mark?
It does. I think Sheffield Forgers, one of the amateur sides around here, based at South Sheffield, have embraced it. They've got a team going.
Yes,
I do play touch rugby on a Thursday. What we do is we kind of play our own hybrid rules of it because we've got quite a few union people who play it who aren't used to league and league aren't used to union. So we play like a hybrid touch. No kicking at all, though. But I think X League is something that we should look at organising, a tournament or some teams in Sheffield to play, because I've had a look at the rules that you've kindly said to Dino, and it sounds great because for the oldies like me, I say old, I'm the youngest here, I know, but for people like me who are too old to be playing full contact, it sounds like a great idea, and it's something I'd look at doing. Should there be an organised, team or set up at my part of Sheffield, I'd definitely look at playing it because it's a lot about the aspect, but it's like you say, it's about the fun, and it's also for those who want to. You can either take it seriously or you can do it for a bit of fun. But I think it's a wonderful idea, and I really hope that it's a success. Now you never know, Eagles might have a team in it. We've got loads of teams going in other things now, so we could have his own X League team. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, part of my job is to go around and talk to people about organising competitions and tournaments on. So I know Sheffield Forgers. I've helped out with Sheffield Forgers quite a few times. I know that they're great lovers of the game. One of the advantages of it, because as you know, when you get a bit older, you can't play competitive rugby league no more, but especially the bigger lads. So when you play touch and pass, you're basically just a driver in it. If there's no skill in that, but a bigger lad can be very, very useful at playing X League. It's not like Masters. I've only played Masters twice and I got sent off each time. Just about.
Because I played it.
You're actually. I've been told for ages, play Masters. I don't want to play Masters. Like I didn't want to play X League because I thought it was just a variant of touch and pass, and it took me ages to play. Then I was converted. But I'm playing in this massive tournament at East Small. I don't want to play. I'm one of the East Small players. Took me short, put a pair of gold shorts on. So I was 60 then. Yeah. So I've got these taggles down my side, a pair of gold shorts. I said, what are the rules? There's no handing off. Okay. So first time I got in, and I handed this winger off. He'd got green shorts on. He looked about my age. He got green shorts on. I handed, and now I've got a good hand off. That's one of my skills. And he dropped dead on the floor. That name it. And everybody shouted, no hand offs, no hand offs. I said, oh, I'm sorry, mate. So I picked him up, carried on. Next, I got ball again, and next one, I handed him off again. Same bloke, and he come down, had to be carried off. I said, look, I'm sorry, mate. It's the first time I played Masters. I didn't know about this rule. He says, don't worry, cock. He says, it's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be last. He says. When I found out, he was 75.
Oh, being a pensioner.
I thought I could have killed him.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. I mean, I've done Masters down. I mean, I'm starting my Masters life. We did it down in London just before pandemic, before the second lockdown, end of 2020. Right. And we had a good bunch there, and there were all these things with and I was just hearing all these stories about Masters, and I'm going, well, what colour shorts will I wear? And then when they found out that I had my cancer, they went, oh, you're in gold shorts. So you're, and I went, I'm not old enough to wear gold shorts. He says, listen, you've had cancer, you're in gold shorts. Brilliant. Get in the gold shorts. I'm like, Oh, here we go. But the oldest player, I think, down in London was 66. And I just met him and he was fantastic playing. We just had some. It was great. I mean, it was so nice to be part of a rugby team again and everything.
Yes,
and I am badgering Hawks. I'm badgering the guys up at Sheffield Hawks to get a Masters team. Because I just said to him, I said, we met up at the Eagles do at the end of last season. I'm just saying, when you're doing Masters, next year. So it's next year now. And I'm still badgering. I'm going, when's the Masters team coming? Come on, we need one. So, but it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be the funniest team in the world to see Sheffield Hawks having a Masters team. All the ex-players of that. It'd be great.
Some teams actually take it very, very serious.
Yeah.
You know, they have the fun with it, but they do take it very serious, and they train 2 or 3 times a week. Whereas the team I played, we were all checking each other's hand before the game. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? You know, and the one of the aspects I like about Masters is once you've got your gold shorts on, you can pretend you were a ball player, can't you? Because you're not going to get braid. You're not going to get throw a dummy and then just get under your ribs because they have to take a thing off you. So you can make a mistake and it's okay.
Yeah, I think when we get back to X League now, it's nice to have another alternative to other things. I mean, we've just talked about Masters and there's X League. There's the wheelchair game. There's a ladies game. There's another version of rugby league out there, which can only help and everything spread the word massively.
Yeah. Well, we've been actually, there've been tournaments played over in Budapest. There's a couple of teams in Budapest in Hungary, and they absolutely love it. And they use the X League as a way of going through all their team players and what have you. But the good thing about X League this year is, if you can get yourself associated with a registered team, there's a chance of playing in the World Cup because X League are in the World Cup competitions alongside wheelchair and women's rugby league, etc.
Nice.
So, the Ireland and Scotland, Wales and England, we're all looking for players that can play in these tournaments, and they'll be holding regular international tournaments and going abroad and playing abroad as well in the future.
Mark, we're in.
So it's an exciting prospect.
I'll
tell you when we played in there was a tournament played in Sheffield about 6 months ago. Well, they called it Sheffield. I get confused with Sheffield because we ended up turning left at Rotherham. Rotherham turn off. There was a sports centre just about 2 miles down the road there.
Yeah.
And I ended up guesting for Ireland. I've got an Irish name, McDermott, but I'm not Irish. So I got drafted into Ireland team. And it was just like the Masters tournament, and we introduced ourselves to each other. Now, I'd seen some of the Ireland people before because they sent a team over to the game in Budapest. And we were playing an international against Scotland. All the rest were local teams. I'm trying to think, a lot of Lancashire teams in from it there. So we're all there. We've got a ball, and we're thinking like a ball that hasn't been blown up properly. No one had a pump, so we're all passing this ball around. And Scotland, and we've about 12 players. Scotland's got 25 players, and you can only put, I think there was 6 or 7, 8, depending on what you agree with the rules are, what you're going to play there. So they basically 2 teams with subs for every single person. And they were going through the warm-ups before the game like a professional team did. They were taking it so serious because this were their warm-up games for when they play the World Cup. Their goal is to win the World Cup for X League. And they've got proper masseurs. They've got masseurs and they've got physiotherapists there. I was so impressed with them. They were very, very good.
I qualified for Scotland. Oops, I might have to try and get my elbow in there. I think this is going to be a wonderful thing. Are you looking at like setting up X League teams with professional teams? I mean, we joke then about Eagles having an X League team, but do you think that's a possibility? Because the Super League teams like Wigan have got wheelchair and women's, and St Helens of course have got a brilliant community game. Is it something that you can add? Because in other sports, there's different versions of every sport. I mean, look at cricket. You've got Test. One day you've now got the 100 as well, which like it or not, it's a form of cricket. So why can't we in rugby league branch out into other versions around here? If it gets people playing and gets people moving and talking about it, it can only be a good thing, can't it?
Definitely.
I agree with you 100%. But the problems that lots of professional clubs have, especially below Super League, is they don't have the personnel, to deal with it. Because it's like it's organising, it's like organising another team, basically, isn't it? It's having a third team if you're going to do that. So they would have to rely on other people to come and do that. So that is down in the line with it all. And then you've got, if you're associated with a professional team, you have a different type of insurances and everything else that possibly go with it. Because you've got to take part in these official games, you have to be accredited with the Rugby Football League and sign on, so you are covered by insurance. Yeah. But it's certainly a goal that we're wanting to do. Yeah. Look at women's rugby, as not so much that it's progressed, which it has, but how much has it publicised Rugby League?
Yeah.
If you're not reading about men's rugby league, you're reading about women's rugby league. It's all over the place. It's great publicity.
And we're leading into a World Cup where we've got all the versions of the game being played. This is an absolutely incredible chance for us to promote our sport. And the best thing is we get in before the Football World Cup. I think that's after hours, isn't it? The Football World Cup's after hours.
Yeah, end of November.
Yeah.
November.
So it's not like if you've the Football World Cup on at the same time, you're not going to get any coverage, but we're before it. So people are going to be watching this before they watch like a month's worth of football. So this is the greatest time to strike. And one thing I do think is obviously the BBC, not BBC, BBC obviously showed Challenge Cup, but Channel 4 have got Super League games. More and more Rugby League is out there in public exposure, because not everybody's got Sky Sports. I ain't got it. So more Rugby League on television will grow the game. More versions of the game will encourage more people to play. This can be done properly. This can be, a great thing.
Get it on Free Sports.
Yeah, well, it's it's Rugby League's complicated, isn't it? There's so much. Not the game itself. The game is so simple. It's untrue. That's why they make this analogy with Rugby Union, that's chess and Rugby League's drafts. But really, it's the other way around, because in Rugby Union, everybody's got a job to do, and you don't deviate from that job. Whereas Rugby League, you have to make a decision whether you've got the ball or I haven't got the ball. What are you going to do with it? Blah, 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 blah.
So the Rugby Union comes out,
when the players come over,
everywhere. So
but it's we're asking questions that seem simple to us, but the people in charge don't obviously see what we see with it all. And we've got to convince them that this is the way to go. Yeah, because I know for a fact, I took my grandson, he's from Barnes, I took my grandson to Wakefield Trinity to Eastmore Rugby League, to play Rugby League and not football. So he started watching Wakefield Trinity. Wakefield Trinity invited all the kids down, to play a game. So there'll be about 15 teams down at Bellevue there. And there's people and parents, brothers and sisters, who've never seen a game of Rugby League before in their lives. But they've gone down to Bellevue with a £5 ticket. And then you see them there next week. They've paid for 20 quid for a full ticket to go down and watch them. Because no one believes how good Rugby League is until you see it live.
No.
Yeah. And that's the way to go forward.
Yeah. I mean, I know that. I never used to be worried about rugby. I mean, before Eagles, you'd never seen me play a game. And then all of a sudden, my brother just dragged me along and he says, watch this. And then as soon as I watched it, within 20 minutes, I was like, right, that's me. I'm hooked now. What else can I do? And I wanted to play from that moment on. So it's a wonderful game.
Yeah, it took me some time to understand it when I started watching, but then when I got it and understood it, it was so much better than football, because obviously football dominates this city. But once I realised it was a much more entertaining, cheaper, more social version of a sport you can watch and you can invest in, I was hooked from there. And 22 years later, here we are. So one of the things is growing the education, especially in areas like this. But get X League get it in schools, get it in places. This could be great. As I say, this could be a great thing.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about it going into schools with X League is that, again, you can't play Rugby League in schools, and I don't think many schools have. Even the established Rugby League areas don't have Rugby League. A lot of the schools, purely for insurance reasons again. But the touch rugby favours the fast slide players, the children. So the bigger children are excluded. But X League would just do them perfect. And it's like they're getting involved and they say, take that in, we'll take 2 drives, and we're going to do a play exactly like rugby league, full rugby league. And they're not going to get hurt, and smaller people aren't going to get hurt by tackling because they're not going to go around the legs. It's a really good concept.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. Now, Chris Fowler in our chat room. Hiya, Chris. He's going. We've got a few people. Evening to Mr. Morris. Andrew Morris is evening. Chris Fowler says, good evening, guys. Get Paul on Radio Sheffield to speak about it because they've just expanded their sports night coverage to 2 hours.
Oh, lovely.
And he says, X League sounds like fun. And then he's asking, do I qualify for Scotland? How many years you lived in Scotland, Chris? And then Andrew Morris says, I think the biggest issue is lack of teams, as there's only the Forges in South Yorkshire. And it's not just X League, but Masters and Touch as well. But yeah, more the merry. It gives you it's choice. There's more choice now. There's more choice. I mean, it's another version of the greatest game of them all. And so, no, Chris, you don't qualify. You've been there 4 years. You need to do 5. I was resident for Wales for 5 years, so I qualify for Wales. So there we go.
Right, then.
And he says he ate haggis once, so this is funny.
What do you do that for?
I mean, it's great. I mean, this X League looks like it's here to stay, and everybody's done. And how much time does it take up your week? And then Paul just doing all the ambassador work.
Well, this is your first one. I'm honoured to have that. You've got me on this is the very first one. So I'll just play it by ear. I'll just take it's an honorary position, so I'll just take it. You know that my role is to spread. If I spread the word about X League, I'm spreading the word about rugby league, aren't I? I'm living in Driffield at the moment, which has got a very good rugby union ground just down the corner from where I am. It must have 33 pitches. I'm exaggerating a bit, but you know what rugby union clubs are. You can't. Rugby league's only got the one pitch, and rugby league's got all these pitches. But so they've got teams ranging from open age, first team, second team, third teams, and you've got your vets teams, and you've got under 19s, under 18s, 17s, all the way down to sixes, and you've got women's teams. So I'm going to try and get in there all the competition there, and invite some teams from West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire and East Yorkshire to come and play at Driffield, not necessarily with the intention of Driffield putting a team in, which I think they will do, but for just then they can see what X League is, but they can also see what rugby league is. Because so I've moved to Driffield. They all talking to me when they found out I'm rugby league. It's all bash, bash, bash and a kick. There's no skill involved in rugby league. It's just big lads braying into each other. I want to get rid away from that. Image of rugby league.
Yeah, I think when people see it, they change the ways and they change the views. They always have done. It's down here. I mean, I'm in East Anglia, so I get and there's 2 teams. I think there's Anglian Vipers in Cambridge, some Cambridge Blues. They've just done in their East League, but that's all we've got rugby league down here. But
I'll come down and do a session for you.
Yeah, I'm not involved with any clubs.
For you.
I used to be involved. I used to be involved with a club in now, but I don't think they're doing it anymore. But it's a shame. But no, I'm. If I do anything now with rugby league, I'll go back to Sheffield. I want to play Masters in Sheffield again, and I'll do that. And I mean, commute. If I can commute to the other side of London, I can commute up to Sheffield. And if I do Sheffield, I'll be the happiest guy on the planet at my age. I'll be over the moon for it. So I want to play again so badly now. My wife's going crazy, going, do we need boots? I said, I've got my boots, don't worry. I found my boots, don't worry. I'm
as old as me, Dino.
Hey?
Your boots will be as old as me.
Excuse me, I bought brand new ones 3 years ago for my football. My charity event I'm playing, so I bought some football boots for that. Andrew Morris has just put a link in the chat room saying all the teams are here. So he's just putting the link of where all the teams are on locations.
Lovely.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for that. That's really, really kind of you. But got a question for you, Paul. What would you rather play now? Today's shirts or the ones you played in when you was in your playing career?
I'd actually like the first. You mean for Sheffield Eagles?
Well, no. The material, like the tight.
Oh, material.
The tight ones now.
In rain, one of my problems are I was always deemed to be too light, but in rain with them shirts I was 2 stone heavier, but I didn't have the frame to carry it. And it used to, some of the shirts I wore because the prop forwards they had big shirts for, they didn't have subs, etc. So if you got a shirt that was torn, you got another shirt thrown at you. And it was like wearing your granddad's jersey that got wet, that woolen jersey. They went past my knees, some of the shirts. And then in summer, he just sweated, he just sweat loads. They were wringing wet with sweat. Yeah. And then the nylon one comes and you were all chased under your arms and under your arms. I didn't have much luck with shirts, actually. But I did like the Sheffield Eagles first kit. I did. Yeah. I like that.
Well, we are campaigning to get that kit, Mark, aren't we? We are campaigning to get that kit as launched in the 40th anniversary in 2 years. Even if it's
2024, either the away or the third shirt, because it's usually always a third shirt now. We're trying to sort of nudge the club towards having a replica of the first Rochdale kit, the white with the design at the top. Because we think, obviously, every fan loves a retro shirt. It's the thing now, isn't it, in sports? They're all doing it, going back to originals, like football clubs are changing the crests and everything. So I think that would be something that would really appeal. As well as obviously fans buying it, nostalgia for the club, and especially with the heritage project on the go, you know, it's a great way to honour our history and the fact that we will be 40 years old. So I think we should campaign the club to get a design like that. I don't know who designs the kits anymore now, Liam. So, but we should.
Well, put me down as part of your campaign. Yeah, I'll be back in that campaign.
Right, there we go. We've got the third. We've got endorsement now. That's it. We're on the roll now. We're on the roll with this campaign. Wait till I see Toby next month. He's not going to know what's hitting.
I don't know if Toby designs them, but I think he okays the design. But yeah.
But if everybody wants it, I mean, if everybody looks, I mean, I'm non-speaking because I'm in that age group, but it would be nice to have a return to, like, just for that one game, just to see the Eagles walk out as we did in '84, and just go, there we go. It's an updated version of it. I think it'd be amazing. I really would. I'd love to see it. I would really love to see it.
That first game was an exciting day. It was. Players wasn't aware of what had happened previously, in the few hours previously, or a couple of days. So we were all going forward expecting all these big things. And the day itself, it was like the DJ, didn't they?
Yeah.
DJ there, and he was telling the rules as what going on. Even we could hear him on the fields, the players. You know, and they said, knock on. No, it wasn't a knock on, you're wrong. DJ. But it was an exciting day. I should try and replicate that type of thing again.
Somebody put a video on it. There's a video on it on YouTube of the first game, and it's like got an old VHS that he's converted to it. And you see the players coming out and kicking the little rugby balls, these orange little rugby balls, into the crowd when they were announced each name, one got the name mentioned and things. It was wonderful. It was an absolute alien experience. I mean, everybody that's been there always talks about it. The result was second to none. And you getting a hat trick on the first game was just, it's in history now. It's the folklore that the first person to get a hat trick is you. So,
just still think how exciting the game would have been if there wasn't a dog track around. I mean, that's the way we were at Allerton. Yeah. But if they want a dog track around, because when you watch it from afar, you really don't appreciate how tough the contact is watching games. That's why we go to Castleford and there's Wakefield and Featherstone, the old grounds. You're spitting distance away from the players, and some people do, don't they? Yeah. When they're winning, not losing. But it's hard to appreciate. They can see the technique, but actually somebody 15 stone running into somebody else 15 stone, like two trains colliding, or an 11, 12 stone lad tackling a 15, 16, 17 stone at full flight. It takes some, it's a lot of skill involved in that, which sometimes gets lost.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, in the 40 years, nearly the 40 years of Eagles, I think there's only, Mark might contradict me with this, but the only homes in Sheffield that Eagles have had that haven't had a dog track or a running track round it is Bawtry Road when we played it, and the OLP. That's it.
Well, Hillsborough Grammar Lane, if you want to be really awkward.
Well, yeah, but they were one-off games. They were one-off games, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, Bawtry, no dog track, just not. Well, you could argue that wasn't even in Sheffield, to be honest. That was Rotherham.
Right, fair enough.
What was the other one?
OLP. It's the new one.
Yeah, OLP. Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Mount St Mary's, that had a running track. I'm trying to think of all the venues we've had and see if there's anything that comes to mind. No.
We played at Swinton, didn't we? Millmore.
Millmore. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could argue that's Rotherham.
I played there. Yeah.
You could argue that's Rotherham or whatever. I mean, Millmore is still there, although it's derelict now.
I think
it's I can't think of any others. I think you're right, Dino. I think there's only OLP really that's not had some sort of thing. We played at that Woodburn Road, but that had a running track as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember standing behind the line watching an Alliance match in that days. Yeah, and a certain boxer called Gary Mason faced the Eagles that day. Played for London Crusaders.
Gary Mason. I heard he had a rugby career.
Yeah. You should have seen the look on his face when he got the ball and he barged over from 5 yards out, and it was like everybody was like, "Look at the size of this guy." And he was the British heavyweight champion at the time. He just decided to do a career change, but he put the Crusaders on all the major papers. It was like he's there, and everybody was there for him. So the Eagles did their trick with that one with the Alliance team they had at that time. I mean, Pete Wilders and all them guys that were playing that day. Derek Bridgman as well. So good old Derek.
Heroes there.
His lad's just signed for Sheffield for Leeds, hasn't he? Derek's lad's just signed for Leeds.
All right.
Whose lad? Sorry. Really? Oh God! If he's like his dad. Oh my God, Chris, we've got Return of the Bridgman. Oh my God. If he's like his dad.
What's his name? We'll keep an eye out for him.
He's what?
What's his name? Well, keep an eye out for him.
Well, yeah.
I can't remember.
Well, Derek Bridgman joined as a winger.
I can't remember.
Derek Bridgman joined as a winger, and then all of a sudden he ended up being a prop forward. Size of him, he was immense.
He'd arms, chest, thighs, calves. Just massive, but he could run. He was fast.
Yeah, he could run. Yeah, he kept me out of the Alliance team once. I was picked. I think Warren Smiles in 89-90 rung me up and he says, "Would you like to play for?" I played for the Southwest Yorkshire team, and he said, and then Warren rung me up and he says, "Hey, are you busy Saturday?" And I said, "No." He said, "We need players for against Fulham." So I was like, "Oh, I'm going to play for the Eagles." Oh my God. Told me mum, told me dad, told my whole family and everything. And then 24 hours later, he says, "No, mate, I'm sorry, but Derek Bridgman is coming back from suspension and I need to play him instead." And I went, oh. So for 24 hours, I was an Eagles player, and you'll never ever beat me. That can never be taken away from me. Ever.
No,
I was buzzing. Warren made my day that day. I ran home like a 10-year-old. Going, Mom, you ain't gonna believe this. And I was over the moon at that. So for 24 hours, I was on cloud 9. Well, after that, but I didn't care. But that will never be taken away from me. Chris Fowler's just said, we need to sign him for another father-son combo for the Eagles. Not another one. Not another one. Not another one. No way.
Dual reg with Leeds. We'll see if we can do a dual reg with Leeds also.
See, what a lot of people didn't realise with Derek was, he was quite a good ball handler. It's when he made a break, he would actually pass the ball. He wouldn't keep on and get tackled. He'd turn around and look for support, and I tried my best to get with him every time we took the ball. He was always likely to make a break, so I was following him all the time. Yeah. And he gave me plenty of passes where I made breaks from it, or he made the breaks for me. He was a great player with Derek.
Oh, fantastic. He'll always be one of the cult heroes of Sheffield Eagles. I think he's up there with another one, Mark Gamson. He's just the names that... No. Oh, Gamma, what a guy. If ever there's an unsung hero, it's Mark Gamson by a mile. I
think it was third game he played, we ended up at Blackpool. And they had an old-fashioned scrum half there in his late 30s, middle 30s, late 30s. And in them days, 40 odd, 50 odd years ago, the late 30s looked about 50, didn't they?
Yeah.
He'd hardly any teeth in, but he'd got broken nose. And Mark Gamson went round and brayed him from scrum. Just hit him, didn't bother about tackling, just hit him. Now I knew this, and I still can't think of his name, this player. And he had a word with me, did scrum half. He said, Mark, have a word with that young'un. He said, I'll have him. I would tell him he's out of order. So I told Mark, and Mark, like a bull, falling floor and steam coming out of his nose. I'm going to have him. I'm going to have him. So we went round the second time and hit him again. So the lad said, that's it. That's the last time we're doing that. Third scrum. I don't know who put the ball in, but the ball got passed away. Next thing I turn around and there's Mark getting carried off field. This lad had hit him. Where other lad, Mark's a youthful lad, windmilling like rugby players do. They're not boxers. This lad had just popped him one and had him, got him down, got carried off field.
Oh.
It didn't alter him though. He didn't learn.
No, he grew. I mean, everybody knows when we talk about the first 10 years of the Eagles and those like that with Gamma, and they're like saying, yeah, oh, here he is, number 1, Mark Gamson, number 5, Mark Gamson. He played every position on the backs, and he even played hooker at one bit. So I think he holds the records for the most positions played in the Sheffield Eagles career, unless Mark tells me different. If I'm not
mistaken, I think he came as a 7, didn't he?
Yeah, he came as a scrum half, and he was banned.
Yeah,
he couldn't even make his debut in the first game because he was banned from being sent off in an amateur career. So he couldn't even play in the first game. That was hilarious. But it's wonderful. Thank you very much, mate, for coming on tonight. It's been absolutely amazing talking about the X League and all the stories again as usual.
For asking again,
mate. You've got an open invite whenever you want to come on, mate.
Next time I've got some information, I'll let you know.
Excellent. Yeah. Are you going to come to the first home game? You're coming up to the first.
When is it?
23rd of May, Monday night.
Yes.
Right, we'll see you there.
Yes. Remind me, Dean. Text me. Remind me.
I will.
I'm an old man now, and I forget things. You see. So
no worries. I'll remind.
I don't have them newfangled things called diaries. I have to keep everything in my head.
I'm the same. No, mate. Thank you so much for popping on tonight. All the very best with the X League and everything like that. And we'll see you again very, very soon. All right, my man.
Right. Thank you.
Take care, my mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye-bye. 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 Wonderful. Wonderful. I could have Paul on. We could have them guys on that. He's still here, isn't he? Oh no, I moved there.
Yeah.
Right. We could have him on for days and just listen to all the stories. I really could. I love them stories. I think they're fantastic and things. So right now we get to. I've got something to show you.
Oh God, this can only go well. You've got it already.
It came this morning, and it smells like it's been in a wardrobe for the last 30 years.
Most of your shirts have. But question is, does it fit?
Yes, it fits. Hold on.
When you do catch up with Mr. McDermott, tell him, at the first home game, he can, we'll get him a drink. He can be our guest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm not missing that. Might book half a day off work, actually.
There you go. Told you it fit.
Fantastic. So what year was that out? Was that like that? Oh, surely that's mid-90s, isn't it?
Early 90s. Hold on. This was first season back in First Division. So it'd be 92, 93.
Then, yeah.
So, it was the worst of it was there were 45 quid brand new in the supporter shop.
That's a video game in the early 90s. Bloody early 90s. That was a SNES game. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money now, but then it was even more.
Well, the amount of people that had them, I mean, they had the red and blue, they had the red and black ones and things like that. Yeah. It's like wearing a bin liner. There's so much static and noise on this thing. It's like wearing a bin liner.
You've got to show up to the first game in that thing.
Isn't that band as a shell suit top? No, it is not a shell suit top. It is not. It is not the same material as a shell suit top. And there is no way I am turning up on Premier Sports wearing something like this. I mean, it's got the original crest on it and things like that. Match winner. If everybody remembers match winner when we had them, but it goes well. I mean, there's some other things coming this week. I mean, I got contacted by a young lad on Twitter. He's sending me a jersey, so I've got another one for the collection, which is I think it's either Sheffield Eagles first team shirt or it's a Sheffield Hillsborough Eagles shirt. It's that old. It wasn't even Hawks. It was Eagles.
The one you showed me, wasn't it? It could be. It's probably a Hillsborough shirt.
Yeah, because I don't think Constant supported the Eagles, sponsored the Eagles at all. So.
No. It looks like it because they were Hillsborough Eagles, then they became Hawks, then they dropped the Hillsborough for some reason, which still don't know. Yeah. Well, I do know, but it's the other way.
Anyway,
yeah.
Right. Anyway, we can talk now about up-to-date stuff. We've re-signed Tom Holmes for 2 weeks. We've got Tom Holmes back.
We have. Good news. I think we're dipping the toes for next season, to be quite honest, and I think it would be a very good addition. I'm sorry to say this to everybody, but I think Thax is done at the end of this year, and frankly, who can blame him? Tom would be a great replacement. He would be a good fill. I think there's going to be other signings as well. I'd love if QLT stayed as well for the full of this season and next season as well. Yeah. Tom's come back in. I think he'll go probably into the side. I think he's going to go into the side. He's definitely in the squad anyway, but he's going to go straight in because Thax has been in obviously God form, and Isaac has been brilliant these last few games as well. Isaac's really come on a lot from the start of this season. He's up there for most improved. So can you really disrupt that halfback pair? I mean, it's always good to have another halfback on the bench just in case.
Yeah. We've got to say congratulations also to Villa Halafihi. He made his 100th career start last weekend against the Broncos. How was they against the Broncos, mate?
Do you want the honest version or do you want the polite version?
I want both. Well, give me the honest one. We've always been honest on here. We've never messed around. We've been honest.
The first half was pretty crap, to be honest. It was pretty rubbish. It just wasn't clicking. We were a lot of one-man rugby. We weren't throwing it about. We weren't exploring with the ball. London were not great. Let's be honest here. They were not great. They were there for taking, and we did beat them eventually. But the first half, it just wasn't landing. It just didn't click, and we struggled. We struggled. Frankly, there were mistakes, and we only went in 6-4 ahead. And we could have gone in behind because they bombed a couple of tries. Our good friend, Mr. Chisholm, started for London. And this is going to sound something. He was probably their best player, and he wasn't that good either. So the first half was a bit of a mess. Second half, 100% improvement. Got his heads in the game. I'm sure Tubby had a word at half time like he does. He encourages you if you're not doing your best. But the second half was like night and day. Some fantastic tries scored, as we've seen on the highlights. Thax absolutely ran it. Not just his tries, not just the intercepts, but the organisation and the knowledge. The guy is absolutely brilliant. I can't say enough about how well he's playing at the minute. And he brought the rest of the team on with him, and it was great. So, comfortable win. Could have been more comfortable if we'd had a better first half. But let's look at it like this. Job done, 2 points. On we go to the next game, which is going to be a lot harder against Newcastle.
And I've got a new mission. I want to meet the 24% that didn't vote for Thax for the man of the match last weekend. Who did they vote for? Who was in their opinion?
It was obviously other players' families voting for their own player. Anybody with working eyes would have voted for Thax.
Because it was the biggest talking point. It went with 76% of the votes. I went, who voted for somebody else, for God's sake?
I think I said that, didn't I? I actually said just 76, in jest, obviously. But player of the game, player of the month, probably player of the year. And
no. The person we sponsor is going to get player of the year. Liam Johnson. Is he injured, Liam? Is he out injured?
He must be, because he's not in the squad. Yeah. I mean, he's not in the squad, so obviously he would be in the squad if it was. Right. He must have an injury of some kind. I mean, We don't tend to get told when there's injuries, but
it's all right.
It's not a big problem because we've got other second rows. Obviously, we've got Super Paul. Connor Bauer's done tremendous since going in at second row, so we're not exactly struggling.
Yeah. Do you know, by the way, when our first home game, we've got to have our picture took with Liam as well.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Because as part of the player sponsors, we have his picture took with our certain player.
Is that before the game?
I don't know when it is, either before or after, but it's going to be nice.
I think I'm going to have to book half a day off work here, to be honest, mate, because all this stuff that's going on. Yeah. Hang on a minute, let me just adjust my brightness. It's overridden me for some reason. You've gone dull, so I'll just adjust my brightness. There's a lot going on, so I think I have to book half a day off because I normally don't finish till about 5:30 on a Monday because it's a mental day. So I think I'm going to sneak half day's holiday in.
Well, I think I've got to get my train about 2:00. So I'm hoping to get into Sheffield about 3-4. And then I might do a little bit of shopping or something. But
what are you going to do? Peterborough up to Donny and then across to Paul?
Yeah, and if this is the worst bit, if I go from Peterborough to Sheffield, it's a lot cheaper. It's about 20 quid cheaper than going Huntingdon to Sheffield. So I knock off the Huntingdon and I get the Peterborough train, which is a lot cheaper. So
it's mad. We've loads of us have been sorting our trains for the London away game. If you go into the London away game,
I'm coming because there's a gentleman that lives near me who I played Masters with a couple of years ago, Chris Ashton. He was involved and he's saying, yeah, we've got to do a meetup for the Broncos game. So I'm saying to him, okay, Broncos game versus Eagles. I'll definitely go to that one. So I'm hoping to do a meetup for the Broncos Eagles game.
Well, I'm down there Saturday till Monday, so get yourself down. There's plenty of us going. I think there's I'm on the tarts. I think there's about 5, 6, 7 of us going, so there's plenty of it.
Brilliant.
Gonna be great. But as I was saying, it's for some people it's worked out to get split tickets than it is to get a fare. And obviously it's cheaper from Doncaster, which is the way I'm doing it. But British Rail have got this sale going on at the moment. So this not so much for London, but if you're going up to Newcastle in a few weeks, I think that's the start of June, isn't it? Newcastle. If you're doing that game, look at.
Yeah, get your prices in now.
Look at a cheap fare now.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's awkward for those folk who may not know if they're going yet. But if you do know if you're going, strike now with the trains. You'll get them for a pittance. I've got to go down to London probably in May for a work meeting. It looks like being the same weekend as the playoff final that Wednesday might be in. So I've had a look at the trains, and at the minute they're dirt cheap. You can probably get Sheffield to St Pancras for about 16 quid, which is a song. So, yeah.
No way! I might have to see if I can get a train to London and get a train from London to Sheffield. It'll be cheaper.
Well, you never know, but just have a look, people. If you're travelling about watching us, have a look. There's some right bargains on at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. I hope everybody's got their cheap hoodies. They got their cheap hoodies over the last couple of days. 15 quid on site. Yes, if my honest opinion, get the size smaller than you normally get because it is a bit big. I'm gutted because I paid 40 quid. I paid 45 quid. For the polo shirt and the hoodie, and I see on the thing like that, 15 quid for the hoodies and 10 quid for the polo shirts. I'm like, you what? But no, it'd be great. Everybody's been getting hoodies today, so
have a word, Dino. They've obviously got surplus stock. The shirts are out. The shirts are there. You, of course, are wearing yours. Let's get as many of these up there on Friday. Get the new shirts worn, everyone.
Yeah. Also, if you want an England jersey for the World Cup, they're 10 quid a moment on the website. I've bought 2. I've got another one.
Yeah, we've plugged this, so get your shirt.
Yeah, get them all. It's great. I mean, I've just entered draw for the All-Stars jersey, so I've been entered the competition with that. If you go on our guys, this is a good one for you guys. If you ever go on our league and you fill out the little questionnaires, you get a load of points that adds up and it makes you can have more entries into competitions on the website. If you are not registered with Sheffield Eagles on our league, then please do get yourself on our league. Register as a Sheffield Eagles fan and make them know because we want to get our voice and everything heard on there as well.
There is a financial incentive, and it's a big. I don't know numbers, but I know from people who know it is a substantial financial incentive to have more Our League followers.
Yeah.
and that way, and every penny really does count, especially where we are. Obviously, we haven't got a millionaire backer like some clubs Featherstone have. So, Lee, every penny does matter. And I don't watch stuff on our league because I tend to be there, but still, register yourself as a fan. I'll put the lights on. I'll just put the light on a second. Hang on a minute.
It is a momentous day this week, and a lot of people are going to be asking why.
Why, Dino?
It's the last official away home game for Sheffield Eagles. Because after this weekend,
I really hope so.
After this weekend, we are on the home straight. We've got Newcastle at Featherstone. Also worth noting with our league and get points, which gives you discounts on England tickets. Nice. There you go.
Yeah, incentives. It's definitely worth having.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the art league because when we watched the Crusaders game was on it. Who called it about Crusaders this year being good?
We did, or me to the point.
Yeah, you, Mystic Meggie over here.
Yeah. They've had a good start. Nice win. They won at Swinton, didn't they, on Saturday? Or
yeah.
Sunday, I forget. I lost all track of the days over the weekend.
Right. Question. Did you watch
it's up.
Did you watch Doncaster Cornwall?
Yes, I did. I went up early. We got the train about 11. We had a couple of beverages in the Tutton Shive. Then we jumped over to the Keepmoat for the Donny game. You know what? I'm gonna stand up for people here. Cornwall, actually, I'm really encouraged by. Yeah, they lost the game and they lost it heavily. Donny did the basic stuff they have to do. By the way, Donny are not that great, but that's another story. Apparently, they're absolutely cluttered with injuries, Donny. Missy's out for a while. He's got a broken arm. Greg's had an injury as well. And I think they've got other important players out. So I know I sledged them the other week for being rubbish. And, well, frankly, they are. But they have got injuries at the minute. So, they're going to struggle for a bit. They did the basic stuff, right? It got you the tries. But Cornwall, have a look at the highlights of that game if you can. Cornwall's second try is absolutely outstanding for a team that's only been playing for literally 5 minutes. I like what they've got going on. They've obviously got players who've played the game before, whether they're union converts or league, amateurs, whatever. But when you look at where my favourite team, West Wales, are, if you look at, say, the London Skulls, Cornwall are not going to be bottom. Cornwall will beat West Wales, and they will probably give London Scholars a good tilt, if not beat them. So, well done. I was sceptical about having a team all the way down there. I think it is still a silly place to have one, but they look to be something promising. So well done to them. I went to that game. It was good, and then we were on after. But yeah, if ever they'd have these double headers, it's good to go to both games. You learn a bit.
Yeah. Right, hold on. We'll go through the fixtures from last week. On Good Friday, we had Widnes 6, Lee 36. Widnes are really struggling. They're really not doing well at the moment, are they?
Have they got injuries, or has the novelty worn off?
I don't know.
It was a bit of a novelty with them to start with. They started really well, obviously, a new influx of players. I hope they're not hitting the wall of money again, because how many times, couple of times Widnes have started the season, they've not got the crowds, they've not got the sponsors, the money's run out, players have left, etc. I hope not, for the fans' sake, if not else, because club can't run the sense that's their problem, but fans are the ones that suffer. Yeah. I mean, Lee march on, it's them or Fev, probably Fev, but they're the top two. We know this. The rest of it is all.
And I want to say happy retirement to the Tony Spruce who's done the Viking mascot for 12 years at Widnes. He's retired this week. I just said to him, I said, there's another retirement happening next month at Sheffield. And he went, really? And I said, yeah. So have a happy retirement, Tony. You've done an amazing job as being mascot. That day at Wembley with me and him will live for me for as long as I can. The hospitality of Wembley towards the mascots is the best I've ever known. I will never, ever, ever forget that. They gave us water. They gave us sandwiches. And it wasn't just one or two sandwiches. It was a massive platter. And I'm like, this is for you two. It's just to keep your strength up. And the bottled water that was ice chilled, there was packets and packets and packets of it. Oh my God, what a day that was for us too. We were and we had Prince Harry walk past us. So I remember that.
I hope you were in your full retinue when he walked past you. I hope to God you were in the mascot suit.
No, because well, actually, I was. We were both in his mascots, and Ralph Rimmer walked past me, and I was glad I had my head on, because if it's so mean, I'd have gone, yeah, whatever.
Love it.
Yeah, this was a shock. They must have made it was not the shock that they won, it was just by how many. Featherstone 58, Barrow 6. That
yeah. Again, the whole obviously Feather a tough proposition. Maybe Barrow have been figured out now and so on. I mean, they had a really good start, and I did think they were maybe in a false position, but you've just got to put that down to Fev being good, haven't you? And they've signed Jonathan Ford as well. Let's give it back to them. Where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
That's fine, but what if they don't go up?
Well, it's either one or two of them's not going to go up, in it. It's either Featherstone or Lee. Are we talking of them pleading bankruptcy next year or anything like that because they didn't get up?
They've spent up to the cap to try and get up. It's all right saying they've got to go up, but they've got to stay up as well, given the money they're spending.
Yeah. Hey, talking of which, did you see the France Derby last week, Catalan and Toulouse?
Great thing to see. Yes,
Whoa, that was fantastic. That was real hammer and nail.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that sort of stuff.
I even watched, I mean, I know I'm going off subject, but I watched the whole derby and I watched Saints Wigan. My favourite games of the season so far, Toulouse versus Catalan and Ulker versus LFC. That was amazing. Did you see the incident with, is that Elliot, who used to play for Hull Kingston Rovers? Yeah, he played for us, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Nutcase.
Yeah. Did you see he got a thing done? It was in, they said he got bit. He got bitten on the hand by, and they showed him on camera that the Hull FC player bit him.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see what he gets.
Well, he's going to get his collar fell and he's going to get in a lot of trouble.
Definitely. Yeah.
As you should for such a thing.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the Easter games. And I even enjoyed, on Monday, I watched Rhino's cast because that
Easter's
young lad.
Easter's a great time for your RL. I like it. Yeah. It's a shame that, I know it sounds horrible here, but we used to play 2 games. We used to play Friday and Monday over Easter. We now only play once for logistics and fitness and all that. But I loved my double rugby league fix on the Easter weekend, but can't have everything.
Chris has just put in the player was found not guilty today.
And it's on camera him biting him.
Yeah. Nice one, Mr. Cullen and all them that did the.
He probably didn't realise. He probably said there wasn't a cake or something, or he probably said something to the effect of it was in the heat of the moment, or he pushed his finger into my mouth or something like that. Yeah.
But, dear.
Some Tory crap excuse. No, I'm not. Yeah. That's garbage. Anyway.
Yeah. But, here we go. Next one, the heavy woolen derby of Batley Bulldogs 36, Dewsbury Rams 20.
That's about right. And Batley are obviously the better team at the minute, so that's fair.
And did we see? And I watched all these interviews of this one. Bradford Bulls 17, Halifax Panthers 20.
Is anybody else enjoying it as much as me that Bradford are completely imploding? Did you see the statement they've put out?
Yeah.
Who's written that and did they go to school? Right. I appreciate what they're trying to say. It's not going well, bear with us, which will come before we've got no money and then inevitably we're in trouble, because this always happens with Bradford. Bradford need to know their place in the food chain where they are at the moment. And where they are at the moment is a mid-table championship team. Now, I know this is Bradford Bulls, which is like basically for somebody like me who started watching RL in the late 90s, early 2000s, seeing Bradford in this division is still very obscure to me. It's kind of like seeing somebody like Arsenal from the mid-90s going down into the championship and not being able to get out of it. It's very weird, but that's where they are.
Yeah.
And that the game is played on the pitch and your results on the pitch where you are in the league. And this is where they are.
Yeah. Did you see the statement from Featherstone Rovers on Twitter today about it?
I absolutely loved that. I don't give Featherstone much credit, but whoever wrote that, you get a thumbs up from me.
Yeah. Yeah, over Ben Blackmore scored for Dewsbury apparently the other day because he's signed for Batley Dewsbury now. So, yeah. Oh dear, how sad! What a shame.
Another nutcase. Great player. He was good for us, but
Featherstone Blues. Featherstone. Something happened at Featherstone. Chris Fowler says Fax played with 12 men for 79 minutes in that game as well.
He had a man off early, and that makes it. I think he won in the last minute as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw the interview with John Keir, and he's broken. He's absolutely broken. He's a broken. I watched it, and they said, "Well, what do you reckon?" And the interviewer said, first question, "Well, John, what do you say to that meager performance?" And John Keir went, "Well, you're exactly right. It was meager. It was terrible." He said, "I'm not going to defend him."
John's not backwards at coming forwards. He tells you what you think. And I honestly think of all the coaches this could happen to, John's what a fella. It's a shame. But I'm sorry, but that's just where they are. I'm not sure another coach would do any. They're saying, "Oh, is John going to leave?" I don't know if any coach would do. I don't know if any other coach would do any better.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, go on.
Right.
Do I need a phone or do I need to write this down?
No, you're all right because I'm putting on the spot on this one.
Okay.
If it comes to the Sheffield Eagles Hall of Fame, does John Keir deserve a place in the Sheffield Eagles Hall of Fame?
Okay. Let's think about this. Let me think about this. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Because he won a major trophy with us. And not only that, he led us to a period of stability. Of course he does.
Yeah.
What if you look at what he's achieved all through his career and what he achieved with us, of course he does.
Yeah. So we should put that. Just for the 98 Cup. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right, I want to ask you, come on then. Who booed Dane Chisholm for last week? Who booed him?
There was a few of us that may have... we were doing the whole... Any Simpsons fans here? You remember the episode where they go... Do you watch The Simpsons, Dina?
No, I don't.
No, you've never seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God.
Nope.
Right.
Never seen The Simpsons.
No, there's an episode where they're at a baseball game and they shout the name of one of the players like, Darryl. And it sort of got adopted in popular culture when you try to wind footballers up and whatnot. So every time he screwed up or something happened, Chisholm. And you could hear everything we were doing. And it were getting to him, I could tell. But the Blazing Squad who sit behind us with the drum, you know who you are, lads. They were
Blazing Squad. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
They were properly giving it him, and I was joining in. I'm not going to lie. We boo him? Yes. We also taunted him a bit. Is it immature? Yeah. Is the way he treated us atrocious? Yeah. That's fine. So. That's what it is. He didn't go in the bar after the game, which was probably a good thing. Out of it, but
Yeah, Chris Fowler says, nice assist by him for Thak's try.
What's that, sorry?
Chris Fowler just said, a nice assist by Chisholm for Anthony's try.
I mean, of all the players to intercept and go the full length, it had to be him, didn't it?
If ever there was a thing called karma, that was it.
It was lovely to see.
Oh, dear.
How bad would London have been without him? And I think he's only a loan as well, so he's not going to stay the whole season. Not if that's how they play. He'll be off. So.
How bad are they? How bad are London? Are we talking relegation?
They were not great, mate. They were very one-dimensional. It's a lot of drives and offloads. They're lacking a creative spark and they're lacking experience. Chisholm went in and was the best player amongst the sea of fluff, to be honest. I mean, it's sad to see because the whole seeing London down here is still a bit weird because they normally associate with Super League. They went all the way, to the Challenge Cup final after us. There's big problems at the club, and I don't think it's going to be solved overnight. They came down after being in Super League that year when they went up over Toronto. They came down, and all the best players left. The coach left. They didn't have the resources to replace them, and it's just a slide from there.
They've always had that academy of theirs. They've always had that youth policy where they've done it, and So they've always had that youth policy that's been bringing them through the years. But you can't rely on youth all the time. You've got to have some other guys to bring on the lads as well.
It's that, but also the lads who've come into the London side from the Scholars, because I was talking to a couple of their fans after the game, and they said basically they do hoover up Scholars players. Those lads will be good players in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
The problem's now, and it sounds horrible, but if they go down to League One, it'll be a better development for them players to then rebuild the club coming back up. You know, that's how it's going to have to be for them.
Yeah. Chris has said that they had a try to sell out last minute last week and before to beat Bradford. Yeah, so they've got that out.
I've had a bit of grief off this for getting it wrong by Liam amongst others. When I watched that, I thought he'd given a knock on against the player because I initially watched it and couldn't see anything wrong. Then I saw the referee make a signal and thought it were a knock on signal. It was actually a double movement signal, which is similar to the knock on pose. Not making excuses, just making a fact. What it looked like, what happened with that game against Bradford, which they were unlucky to lose. It looks like he's gone up, the player's come down, and he's landed and grounded the ball on the football touch line, the goal line at football, whereas the rugby league try line is a little bit further on. So he's come down, seen line. I know it's a different colour, but it's still there. Yeah. He's seen line, put it down and thought, oh, it's not that, which then makes it a double movement.
Double movement.
It's harsh. If that's what's happened, that's harsh and unlucky.
Yeah. Andrew Morris says rumours are around that they won't be exist in 2 to 3 years and we'll have to merge with the Scholars. If that happens, it'll be a disaster.
As I've said before on this show, I think if they go down this year, I think it's inevitable that they will, if not merge next year, they will have to do it in the near future.
I think they might drop to the conference, the amateur conference, and start from there and rebuild everything.
You mean the Scholars come out of the pro game and go back into regional?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I think it's the only way they can do it. If they haven't got the finance or anything like that, there's only one way of doing it. I mean, if it means you're dropping out of the league completely and letting somebody else who can sustain themselves and finance and have that, or just have a team drop out, rebuild from the conference. Don't fold. I mean, don't do a Gloucester Old Golds or Bristol, whatever it is, and things like that, and all them in the first division. It's not going to work. But with Broncos, the history's there. The history of the club's there. It's 40 years old now this year, the Broncos. Why didn't they? I've not heard of any celebrations for the Broncos for 40 years this year. I haven't heard of anything. There's no commemorative jersey. There's nothing like that. They're playing in Wimbledon colours, for God's sake. Because they're playing.
That's going to be part of the deal, isn't it? But yeah, the away kit is black with red, which are their more traditional colours.
Yeah.
London have been through a lot of different colours over the years. When they were Harlequins, they played in their colours.
Yeah.
They were playing white when they were at Fulham. I think they did, didn't they?
They played in black. They played a black with a white V with black. It's a white V, but it had red on the outside on the black shirt.
Which are Fulham's colours, aren't they? Fulham FC's colours. Yeah. So they've gone wherever. And when they played at Brentford, they had that red kit. So it's been how it is. It is what it is. It is a shame because London are not the kind of club that it's easy to hate.
Yeah.
So
I actually went to Brentford a couple of times when I was down living in Surrey. I convinced a lot of my mates to say, "Look, I want to go to a rugby match," and they went, "Oh, where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to London Broncos," and I saw them play Leeds Rhinos and I saw them play Shuddersfield because I wanted to see Jace. And I've got to admit, they had it down to the match experience was amazing because you had this bucket. You had these buckets of VB bitter, Victoria bitter, if you don't know what it is. And it had 8 cans in there and you paid 10 quid for it. And it was bucket full of ice. And you went and you sat down with all these cans and you just had a day out. I have never been so drunk watching a rugby game in my life as I did. It was
£10 for 8 cans of beer.
Yeah, well, this was
1960.
No, this was 2003. 2003.
That's
it was 10 quid for 8 cans of VB bitter. So it shows you how good the beer was.
But VB's not a cheap beer.
It was great. It was great because they had this big bucket that you put it in, and it was covered with ice. And you just went and sat down, And the amount of people that sat down and just went with all these beers, it was wonderful. We had a great time. Look, I especially loved it because they hammered Huddersfield that day. Huddersfield. I remember that, and I watched it with Rhinos because I had a chat with Darryl before the game, after the game, sorry, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. That was a fantastic ground for rugby league. Brentford's old Griffin Park. It was wonderful.
I went twice for the footy when Wednesday were there. Last time we had to play in this division, and you're absolutely right. Proper close-knit footy ground where you're right there. And it's not like a big hole. Yeah. And
it was close to the railway station. It would walk round the wall from Twickenham. You had to get off, I think it was Twickenham, and walk past Twickenham or something like that, or it was a stop after it, or one or two. But fantastic.
Yeah, you get the underground to Vauxhall, and then you get an overground from Vauxhall to Brentford. Or you can go to Twickenham and come down from there, like you say.
But yeah, I mean, they've had some great grounds. I mean, Chris Fowler says, I went to the Valley when they played there. That was a good time.
Charlton, yeah.
Everybody remembers Broncos. I mean, they're one of the founding members of the Super League in '96. They had a wonderful side then in the '90s. They went to Wembley when Richard Branson was the owner. They had Martin Afire in that side and Sean Edwards. So they had some great, great players. It's a shame to see where they are now. I think that relegation from the Super League, as close as it was, because Eddie Batty was playing.
Points difference, didn't they? They were three teams in the mix on the last day, which I've never seen before in Super League. I'll be honest with you.
They had to beat Wakefield. I remember that they had to beat Wakefield and hope that the other and they didn't beat Wakefield. I remember Eddie Batty going crazy, going absolutely mental. They've had their fair share of Eagles players off us, the Broncos. And so,
Eddie, and there were a couple. Obviously, on Sunday they were Illis McCartney playing for him, who we had for a bit. He scored as well. Obviously him, but yeah, there's some players who've gone there. Wait, Matt Garside played for London as well, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, because London are still trying to sell his jerseys.
I know. I've had a look actually. I'm not paying what they're asking, but and obviously Matt Fazzard as well.
Yeah, I bought Garside's grand final jersey off him for Eagles, and I'm not joking. I got Matt Garside's grand final Sheffield Eagles jersey off eBay with London Broncos. How the hell did London Broncos end up with a grand final Sheffield Eagles jersey? I will never know. Yeah, but I think Mitch Stringer. That's another one. Mitch Stringer for Broncos. Mitch. Get back to the ones now, and Betfred.
Orensy, I think, played for London and all.
Yeah, Rob. Well, name me a team that Rob didn't play for.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, go on.
Betfred League One we had on Friday. We had. By the way, Penrith Panthers Broncos. Oof. Say no more.
As I said last week, I just sit here and politely nod. Dan has actually not been that merciless because I think he realised they're a busted flush at the minute. You know. Anyway,
we had. Hold on, my scores and fixtures have gone. Crackles it. Give me a second. Oh, excuse me. Hunslet 16, Keighley 20. Now, Keighley, don't know what they're going to do. Rochdale 34, Oldham 18.
Yeah.
And then we had the Cumbrian Derby on Sunday. Whitehaven 22, Workington 14.
Mr. Senior tagged me in a highlights video of that game. And he knew exactly what he was doing. And I watched it and I'm like, just go and have a look at it on Facebook and look for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and firebomb anymore. I'm done with that. But just have a look at it. It's a mess. I know you're a big fan of the old Workington because obviously Thorman's the coach, but we've got to look at Faxiadino. It don't look good for him, does it?
No. He's I think Chris he's doing trying the best he can to and keep him up, but I just hope he can keep the squad together. If they do go down, and if they go, I hope they get it down, because I think this is the first time in a long time we've had 3 teams in our division with Cumbria. I mean, it's a nightmare for the away travel. I mean, go Benny.
I can't remember the last year it was. It's not happened because one of them tends to be, in the third level. But yeah, and I mean, obviously we had all three away in the space of like 6 weeks. But yeah, it is what it is. You have to travel.
Yeah, and the plans
we're going to lose at least one of them, aren't we?
Yep, and we've also got to say congratulations to the Sheffield Eagles for yesterday for the start of their learning disabilities team. They had the first session there was again. The wheelchair side is still doing great guns. Keep going, guys. Please, please, please. We want to get the wheelchair guys on. We want to get everybody. This isn't just for the first team guys. We want the wheelchair. We want the ladies. We want the whole Sheffield Eagles brand. This will cover everything. And even the Eaglets made an appearance last weekend.
Yeah, I saw him in the stand, actually.
Yeah.
So, well done, girls. Good to see you.
Great welcome back, girls.
There's going to be the women's team are playing a couple of games at OLP before our games, and they're also going to be playing at Mosborough Rugby Union as well. Me and Sini were talking about this on Saturday. We're going to try and get down to Mosborough to see them. If they're at OLP before a game, come down and watch them. They will love the fact that you come down and watch them, and it will help them to learn. And the learning disabilities side, there were 3 people who went on Tuesday, and obviously one of them is Leighton, who's somebody very important to me. I've known him his whole life, and he's a very special person to me. And for him to have this avenue to play, because he loves his rugby, he loves the Eagles. And he's always, every time I see him, he's always got his shirt on, even if he's just at home or whatever. He's always got his shirt on. This is fantastic. And, whatever we can do, to help promote that, whether we talk about it here, Twitter follows, anything, let's get the name of the club going as much as we can. And if we could get an Eagles X-League team going, I'll certainly have a look at playing for them, because X-League suits me, a washed up buddy. And before anybody's pleasures, mate, I did try playing the game properly in the first iteration of the Forgers, like 2005, 6, 7. I had 2 or 3 years where I played for them. It was full contact games in the Midlands Merit League. I wasn't very good, but I gave it me all. And now I play touch most Thursday nights. And if there's an X-League team, I'm all about playing for that. I don't know if Jack Howison ever sees this, but in 2019, he organised some touch rugby sessions at what used to be Myers Grove School now.
Forge Valley, yeah.
And there were some fan teams, and there was a Hawks sent some lads down. Hawks had a team. There was an Eagles team, which had Greg Burns, Corey Aston were playing for us. Jack actually lumbered on the pitch a little bit. QLT's lad played as well. Skinned us all. What an embarrassment that was. We couldn't keep up with him. And that was great, and it's a shame that obviously COVID put paid to that, and Jack's now got his other things he does, and well done to him. We need to invite Jack on the show. I might invite him on the show actually, see if he can spare us half an hour.
Yeah, well, he's been on before. I mean, Chris has just said he's mentioned Mitch Stringer, and he's been on before. So get them all back on, see how they've been going on in their lives. I'm all right. I'm for anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think I have a feeling now, knowing that we're now 4 or 5 weeks away.
I noticed we're not selling tickets for the game
yet. I hope I'm seeing something that isn't there, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think
I really hope.
I think getting the semi-final out of the way.
Yeah.
Get the semi-final out of the way, and then blast it for the next two weeks.
If by some miracle we win the semi-final and get to the final, there's going to be a hell of a logistical thing for the club to sort out. So don't get on the case as if there's no to get back to you, because I know from Liam how much went into organising the Wembley trip. Now,
you do realise if we get to the final, it's the same day as the playoffs.
Championship final, not League One.
All right. Okay.
The Grunters might be in it.
Hey?
Is it the same day?
Yeah. It's Challenge Cup. No. Is it 28th at 29th of May? It's the final at Challenge Cup.
Yes, it is. It's 28th. It's the Saturday, but is the playoff final the Sunday? Because this year, sorry, we're diverting onto football, folk, but it's relevant.
Yeah.
The weekend before, when I might be down there for work, it's the League 2 and League 1, which might be Wednesday in League 1. We might be straight up, you never know. Yep. But the weekend after, the same weekend as the Challenge Cup final, is the Championship playoff final, which could feature, United. I don't know if it's on the Saturday or the Sunday, the football, but I know that's the reason why our final's at Tottenham, because Wembley were double booked. So, or not double booked, but it weren't available, should I say. But that could be awful, if the footy final's on the same day. I'm not sure how they'll do it, but I feel so. If United do get there, then, I know there's a few United fans who watch Eagles, but don't worry, come to the Eagles game, because you will lose yours if you get to it, because you always do. So come and get yourself to the Eagles game.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm keeping out of this. This is Sheffield Eagles. We haven't started World War III with football. I'm not. I did that once, never again. But it's a possibility, isn't it? I mean, it's a small possibility that it could happen, but we've got to win that game first and everything like that. Spurs, Chris Fowler's has come out with a beauty. Spurs will wonder what's happening when they see a trophy in their ground.
Facts. Facts, yeah.
But no, I think my personal thing is with 5 weeks, it's 5 weeks on Monday. I think it's 4 weeks Monday.
Yeah, back to brass tacks. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to happen. I just want somebody at the club just to say it's definitely happening.
Right.
Then we can
Question
all
for you.
on it.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you go into the ground? Because I've got mine. I know exactly what I'm doing. First thing I'm doing.
Take a few photos of it. I don't know. I thought that before I read. Get a beer. I don't know. I mean,
first thing I'm doing.
Because we're sponsors, do we get the red carpet treatment? Or
I think we do. Yeah. To get the league game is a free hit. I'll say this now. My first thing I do when I get in that ground is I'm going to kiss the floor because it's our stadium, and also I'm going to buy a beer because I know money's going to go to the club. That's what I'm doing. I am going to buy a beer, and I think, I definitely that's my plan anyway. And then I've got to find out. My wife said to me about this retirement thing. She says, "What are you wearing underneath?" I said, "Well, I've got a pair of Sheffield Eagles shorts I bought off eBay. They matched it was the grey shorts from last year." I said, "So I'm going to wear them." And then she says, "You're looking forward to it?" I says, "Yeah, I think it's going to be a great day." I said, "No matter what happens, Sheffield Eagles are back home. We've got a home. It's there. The 23rd of May, it's there now. We're so close now. I know we should have been there last Friday, the Good Friday. I did sit here and I'm going, should have been at Sheffield. Should have been at Sheffield. Yep, should have been there." And then you see the photographs of it. I looked at the photographs. If you type in #Stadium Saturdays on Facebook and see what happened when they first put the bricks in and everything in September, and you go, well, yeah, it took 9 months to get it done and things like that. And July, August, September, whatever it was.
Yeah. There's been delays, but it's not exactly been our fault.
It's Mother Nature in it more than anything else. You couldn't do anything with the winds and the snow and things like that, so we couldn't exactly do that. But I can't wait. And then one of the nicest things is we're playing Widnes, and they've got the ex-Eagles lads in it. So I'm hoping that they're going to be playing in it as well, and then we can give them a nice send off because we never got a chance to give them a send off.
I spoke to Aaron and Ollie at the end of season, at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And they were right up. They said, we've absolutely enjoyed it, but I think they will enjoy it more than maybe the others because they played there when it was a tent and going to lose. So they'll enjoy it, and obviously you always enjoy playing against your former teams. But there's no animosity with our ex-players, some of them.
No.
There's no animosity. I mean, Aaron and Ollie were brilliant for us, and I'll wish them well. I did when they left, and I'll always wish them well. So it's not like that, but they'll enjoy it more than some.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, did Mr. Miller play for Bradford at weekend? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He didn't score again.
No, he didn't.
I hope. Ooh. I hope he hasn't. I hope he's not. I don't think he is regretting the move. I think it will come for him. But change your environment, change your team. Yeah. Half of me wonders whether he's too good for the rest of them. But
Corey didn't play for Halifax.
No, we didn't. It was at the game on. It was at our game on Saturday. Actually, I didn't get a chance to talk to him because he was busy and so on. I don't bother people if they're busy. But I hope it's not a clash thing or anything because Corey needs to be played.
Absolutely, he's cracking, and I can't wait. I know I might not be coming up to every game this year, but the ones I come to mean the world to me, and it's Eagles in Sheffield. That's it. All it matters to me is the Eagles are back in Sheffield. Now the question is, what jersey do I wear? Now this is going to be it's either my Super Joel 12, which I think it has to be. It's got to be my blue Super Joel 12.
I think it probably has, mate. Yeah, I'm just going to put the oven on for my tea because I'm starting to get hungry, and I know we're not going to be. We're not going to be on until midnight. But
no, we're going to go off in a minute anyway. But I'm bringing a couple of.
It's no problem. I'm just going to put the oven on. See, one of these. It's one of these bloody bake-off slidey ovens, which are brilliant. It actually takes a while to warm up, so I need to put it on and just trot round. But
I'm bringing up my purple ones as well because I want to get them signed by Fat Joel and Thax. So I want to get them to
say his name properly.
Super Joel.
You?
Yeah, Super Joel and Tornado Thax or something like that. We've got to give him a nickname. I mean, the guy gets better with age. He's put that debate we had last week saying, is he the greatest Eagles player?
Shot down, haven't we? Is he the best player ever? Yes.
You'd have thought we created fire, for God's sake, with the amount of aggro we got. And all we said was, it was on the page that Katie said, in her opinion, Thax is the greatest player to play for Sheffield Eagles. And everybody lost their minds. So, and then we said about the greatest overseas.
I spoke to her on Saturday about it, and she actually said, especially when we were intercepting and doing all this silly stuff, she just looked at me and just made that gesture as if to say, argue it, not argue against it, but like say someone else. And yeah, I think she's absolutely right. The form is in. It's just ridiculous, mate.
It's crazy, isn't it? He's off the wall. Anyway, I might be seeing Thax anyway because I want to ask about my mortgage. I might be going asking about mortgages soon because my needs me doing. But no, this weekend, Newcastle. We owe them one. We owe Newcastle.
Yeah, we didn't play them at home last year, did we? And no. We played them away. We got the. They've had a strange season. They're like a win one, lose one sort of side. We know what they're building for Newcastle. We know that 2 or 3 years. We know they're a couple of years into a 5-year project. Again, no animosity. Quite like what they're trying to achieve, but they're not overspending and overdoing it to get there. Realistically, it's a very winnable game. Play as well as we can. I think we will win the game. It's one of those, though. If we don't turn up, we'll get beat. If we turn up, we should win. Let's do our best because we need to. These are the games we need to be winning if we're going to make sure that we're not in any kind of bother later on in the year. I don't think we will be, but for me, it's a winnable game. I think we play as well as we can. We can win it. Seeing the squad. Right. Josh is back in the squad. Tom Holmes is coming in. Strength, in depth.
If you've not seen the squad, the 21-man squad is 1 Guzdeck, 2 Jones Bishop, 3 Bauer, 4 Oakes, 5 Bass, 6 Isaac Farrell, 7 Thax, 8 Douglas, 10 Dickinson, 12 Joel Farrell. Sorry, Super Joel.
God's sake, man.
13 Hodgson, 14 Halafihi, 15 Wood, 16 Broadbent, 19 Wellham, 21 Johnson, 22 Crimes, 24 Wallace, 25 Williams, 27 QLT, and 28 Tom Holmes. That's the 21 squad.
So it's about the strongest squad we've got at the minute. I mean, I don't think there's anybody injured at the moment, is there? Or
it's this team has got me excited. I mean, we knew about what Mark said last year. It says, you're just glad to get rid of the season because there's a lot of players going to be moving on and things. So that's been moved on. And this team this year has gelled so well, and it looks only amazing to see what's happening. It really is.
Improvements as well. These players are getting better the more they play. There's some of the lads here we mentioned about Isaac, about Matty Crimes. There's other players for me who've shown massive improvements this year. I mean, you can't really compare last year to this year because a lot of it's brand new, but some of the players who've come in have just got better as the season's gone on. You know, Martin Riley before we left, Mikey Woods, a good example. Obviously, Matty Crimes, as we know, has been pretty prolific at the minute. So there's a lot of improvement here. What this reminds me of is like 2010-11 when we were building a strong squad. I'm not going to say this team's going to win the grand final in a couple of years. I think it's a very different league now. But what I see are rough stones, which we're gradually, I don't know what the term is, you'll have to bear with me, but we're gradually sanding them into diamonds, if you know what I mean. I see a lot of that here.
Is Kirk in the squad? No, I don't think Kirk is in the squad. Give me a sec.
Kirk, no,
he's not.
I've just contradicted myself, but I believe he may be injured.
Yeah, there's no Kirk, there's no Liam Johnson in the squad. So that's two that we know that's not in the squad anyway.
Yeah.
Did you see the video this week that was released by Halifax Panthers of a certain person
of Nozza running,
of Brad Knowles running?
Yeah.
I must admit, I did say a nice thing about it. I said he'll always have a soft spot for us. I've been chatting to an Halifax guy because he wanted to buy some of my rugby jerseys off me. And he was chatting to me about it. And then the situation of Brad come up and he says, how does he do it? And I said, what do you mean? He says, how does he manage to get injured in situations and then come back at 4 times the speed of any other normal human being? I went, because he's Brad Knowles.
The injury was pretty serious, and I didn't expect to see him this year at all.
No.
I mean, obviously the jury's out on whether he'll play a game, but the fact that he's even able to run, you know, or at least his version of running, you know, a gentle jog, it's wonderful to see. And if he gets back before the end of the year, it's been fantastic. But, you know, if anybody connected to Brad's watching, you know, obviously we always, you know, wish him well. And it is fantastic to see in such a relatively short space of time, actually, the progress that's been made.
Yeah, he's absolutely outstanding to see.
Some people heal quicker than others.
Yeah, definitely. But But anyway, I think that's it. I'll let you go and get your meal and everything, and have a nice evening, mate. Right. I've got the Batman to watch again. I'm going to watch the Batman again.
I'm going to watch snooker. I was at the snooker last night, and I think
how was it?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I always enjoy it. You know, we had the Yan Bing Tao match, which was a little bit scrappy, but then he knocked a century in, which is always nice to see. I always enjoy it at the snooker. It's one of my favourite things. Obviously, being in Sheffield, it's part of your blood. You know, because it's really alive, you know. But yeah, there's not many sports I won't watch, you know. Yeah. But I love me snooker, and love watching it. Terrible playing it. Cannot play it for love nor money.
No. And if anybody's interested, if you look on BBC iPlayer, there's a thing called Gods of Snooker, which is a 3-parter, and that's very, very interesting. It's a cracking thing to watch. If you're a big fan of the heyday of snooker in the 80s and the 90s. And so that's interesting. But anyway, all we can say is thank you very much once again to the ex-league ambassador himself, Mr. Paul McDermott, for sharing some wonderful stories again, as always. I'm crying my eyes out, laughing my head off with him anyway. And thanks to this gentleman there with the 2 shirts behind him, which, if you don't know, one's the Summer Bash 2020, correct?
It would have been, but we didn't play the Summer Bash that year. We wore it against Workington in the Cup, the last game before the world ended. And this one, actually, I'm not sure what. I know the year, obviously, it's 2011, but it's a really weird one. It was an eBay one, but it's not got a sponsor on. No number on the back. But it's a for the fans.
I've got the same. For
the fans who bought these, because I didn't have this one. This is a skin tight one. I think this is a player. Not a player issue, but one that was designed for the players. It's really tight. But were the fan ones that year the normal design of shirts that you just get that are not like that? Yeah, because this is an XL, and I'll be honest, I'm not an XL. But,
no, mine's in there. I think. Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones. I think it's one of the ones that was made for the squad, and then obviously.
Hold on. How can your badge be the opposite way around to mine?
Oh, hang on a minute. Your badge is on the.
left.
Well, that's bizarre.
How the heck's that happen?
Are these? Yeah, they are. Are these samples? Could these be samples? Maybe.
I don't know, but mine's a 2XL and it's really tight fit.
Yeah, this is an XL, which is tight on me. No, I'm not going to try it on for all my fans.
Whoa, hold on a minute, though. Hold on a minute. Put yours up again because this is cuckoo. Look.
On the other side.
Well, I was looking at yours and I'm going, hold on. So, which one is the real one? Because
well, it looks real. I'm not going to lie.
Have you got the stitch? Have you got the stitching? Oh yeah, you have. Yeah, you've got the stitching down back. Mine's everything the same as well. But yeah,
made in Bulgaria.
Yeah, made in Bulgaria.
I think what these must be ones that the club get, and then you get them printed with the sponsor, and then you stick it, because we didn't have squad names in 2011. It was still just 1 to 13 and so on. So these are obviously ones that the club will get. You stick you obviously that's printed, and then you put your sponsors on at your leisure when you get them, and then you put the number on the back and you give them to players. So these are obviously player intentional ones, but never actually worn or so. But
that's crackers.
It's legit.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. And that one, of course, were worn in one game. You know, but yeah, I love me. I do love me match ones. Anybody out there, you know, sell me a shirt. I'll buy them. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to put that back up now. But yeah.
I saw you this week. Asking if anybody wants to get rid of their shirts. Please God.
I do. You know, I do collect them. You know, if they come up and you want to sell, I'm always interested in having a nice collection. You know, I do wear them. You know, for games, I do wear them out and about, and they're obviously good for the background here. So, if ever, you know, if anybody's got them, by all means.
Well, there you go. That's the Garside one. So by London Broncos. London Broncos sold it on eBay.
Well, that's a great buy, that, you know. I've got Colton Roaches from that season. Has yours got the grand final print on it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, Kingston Press grand final. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got same. Yeah, well, I've got Colton Roaches. But no, like I said, I just like to have a nice collection of shirts. Got more space now, so always nice to have.
Yeah, you'll have to get one of these also.
They are like Rocky Norse.
Look, it is him says Strower. Look, that's the best thing about it. He spelled his name wrong.
I assume you've asked Dwayne about that. He'll find that hilarious, Dwayne. He loves the laugh. He'll find that brilliant.
It was one of these Ukraine sellers on eBay, and he was selling it at a tenner. It was 10 quid because he advertised it as a Sheffield Eagles training shirt. And I went, and then I put it up, and it was Liam that said about it, and then he came up with a full story behind it, and so I'm pleased about that one.
Yeah,
I mean, all the jerseys with the Eagles, everybody knows what we like with them. Maybe I might have to sell. I'm not selling me Eagles ones. I've got others I'm selling, but that's the most I've got. I've got like Brisbane Broncos. I've got a Leeds Players one, and all the rest of it like that. So, but anyway, we're going to get out of here. By the way, Chris Fowler says, don't forget the podcast about Cornwall on BBC Sounds. So there's a podcast with the owner of Cornwall as well.
Okay.
And things.
Listen, that might be worth a toilet listen, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll definitely give that a go. Thanks everybody for the wonderful support. If you've not done already, please subscribe to us on YouTube. All the videos and everything will be going on YouTube as best we can. So you get everything on there. There's the interviews we've had for the last couple of weeks. We've got Brendan Lindsay's one on there. And then we have last week's. And then I'll put this one's on either today or tomorrow. Eagles Chat TV is the name of the channel. That is where we are. More people subscribe, the better it's going to be. And we'll even put on match day experiences. I'll even take this camera with me to Sheffield on the 23rd and get match day things. And I'll go around the stadium and make up a little thing and about behind the scenes of the first day at the new stadium. Thanks to everybody still coming on. There's been a few people being mentioned coming on. Mr. Andy Pointer, David Plange, we'll get more money and everything. And so we're going to get more the heritage guys on, because more the numbers are coming out now of everybody with the heritage numbers. So we're getting to know exactly whose numbers what. Villa is number 528. I don't know which one his dad is though, but Paul McDermott is number 13. If that goes what we've said, and they said it's the number that when you first appeared. So from the first game, Andy Tyers is number 1.
Yeah.
Darryl Powell's number 3. Gary Edmonton's number 9. Billy Harris will be number 8, I think, or number 10. No, Vince Farrer was number 10. Paul McDermott was number 13. And Dave Alred, which is the famous rugby union kicking coach, will be number 5. And Ray Wilson will be number 2. And if anybody doesn't know who Ray Wilson is, Nick is number 99. Oh, Nick Alafi, he's 99 on the heritage. So up to, in 1988, we used 99 players. Wow, that's not bad. In fact, 5-6 years. Yeah. But also, once again, the sale is on the page. Get your hoodies, get your polo shirts cheap. Get them all there, all the jerseys and everything. They fit great. If you're getting a hoodie, get the size down. Don't go up, go down. I got my extra large one, and it comes down past my bum, so it's huge. I will be wearing that in the first game anyway because it's nice and warm.
Magic.
What page? What create the Elite Pro Sports page? Sheffield Eagles sports page. Elite Pro Sports. Hoodies and everything about £15 on the polo shirts.
Yeah, if you just go to Google and type in Sheffield Eagles Elite Pro Sports, or even the link from our own website, it'll take you straight there. Yeah, and it's dead easy to use.
Yeah, delivery is very, very quick. I bought a £10 Eagles jersey, England jersey on Easter Saturday, and it arrived this morning. So it doesn't take long at all. And the best one was I bought the hoodie on a Thursday, and it arrived next morning. So I got that. That's the best one I've ever known. I bought it at 10 o'clock on a Thursday evening, and it came at Friday afternoon. That's the fastest service I've ever known.
Levels of nonsense, that isn't it?
That is great. That is wonderful. And the jerseys were great because they always tell about it. But thanks to this gentleman, because we're talking about the Eagles. We will be back next week. I don't know what day we'll be on. Hopefully, if we can get a player on, it'll be Monday. So we can see if I can get a players on. See if we can get Jed. I'd love to get the assistant coach of the Eagles on, Jed, because apparently he can tell stories for Britain. For Ireland now, because he's the coach of Ireland. So we've got some things to ask about Jed and everything like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get Jed, or even get another assistant coach on, Mr. Keith Senior. See if we can get Mr. Senior on for half an hour. That would be funny because I want to hear all the stories about him selling all the stuff on eBay, the legendary eBay shop. But anyway, mate, you take care of yourself. Thanks ever so much for tonight, man. It's been wonderful as always. Take care. All right, have a nice night. Take care, mate. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Good night. God bless. Bye-bye.